Hello everybody, it's Chris here from the Whistle Stop Cafe in Muir, Alberta. It is a beautiful Alberta day, as you can see here. Perfect day to do a live on the patio. So as many of you already know, we're going to be closed tomorrow, which is September 1st. We're closing tomorrow in support of the people who are being discriminated against with vaccine mandates from their employers. I don't know if you're all aware of this, but there are actually companies out there that have stated they're going to fire their employees if they don't get the COVID-19 vaccine. And I don't agree with that. I don't agree with any kind of extortion in order to be allowed to have your job. Certainly not medical extortion. I'm not even going to bother talking about the vaccine or the dangers of it or the benefits of it or anything like that. One thing I do want to point out, actually two things though. I noticed in BC, the majority of the population is already vaccinated. Here in Alberta, they told us that once we get to 80%, we're good and we're not going to have to worry about this anymore. And that was a lie. BC right now, they have gathering restrictions again. There's restrictions on small businesses. Masks are mandatory in indoor spaces, whether or not you're vaccinated. And on top of all of this, the federal government, a couple weeks ago, announced that if you die as a result of an adverse reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine, they'll pay for your burial costs. I don't recall ever hearing the government say something like that about any other vaccine. I guess for those of you that are comparing this to the polio vaccine or the smallpox vaccine, maybe keep that in mind. Pretty sure the government didn't say they were going to cover your burial costs if you died as a result of either of those vaccines. So you can take that for what it's worth. Anyway, back to September 1st. So as I said in one of my last lives, I've been receiving messages, tons and tons of messages from people who are about to be fired because they don't want to get vaccinated for COVID-19. The reasons why are varying. It's anything from religious reasons to they just plain don't want to fear of adverse reactions. There's all sorts of reasons why people do or don't want to get vaccinated, and that's none of anyone else's business but theirs. But what we're seeing now is people all over the country, and I still think it's a small number, they're actually ostracizing their friends, their neighbors, and their family members because of the choices they're making on what to do with their own body. It doesn't make any sense. It's actually, it just adds to the Twilight Zone feel of what's going on in the world today. Never in my life have I seen anything like this. Even when I was living in BC, and they had that thing where people didn't want to get any kind of vaccines. When the actual anti-vax movement started, nobody was trying to force anyone through law to do anything like that. Which is interesting because smallpox killed a lot of people. It's estimated to have killed almost 90% of the indigenous population in North America when the settlers started arriving. That was a real pandemic, and that vaccination ended it. But you only needed to do it once. So today I read in the paper that Alberta now is going to be offering the third shot, the third dose of the vaccine. We said months ago when they started talking about this, how they were saying that the vaccine was going to save us from all the restrictions and mandates. We said it doesn't make any sense because just like the flu, and I'm not saying COVID is the flu, but I'm saying just like the flu, you need annual or semi-annual shots to maintain your immunity. So they knew that. I mean, these are doctors, these are professionals that know what they're talking about, but they didn't bother to say that. They just said, you're going to get your 2 shots and then you're good. We'll never have to worry about this again. Well, that was a lie. You're going to see boosters every 6 months, every year at the least. And now there's talk about forcing people to do it or turning them into second-class citizens and not allowing them to enjoy the rights and privileges that every other Canadian has. It's absolute garbage. So that's why we're choosing to be closed on September 1st in support of all the people who are being discriminated against because of the choices they make with their own body. Now, I was going to close everything and just stay home for the day, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is I'll probably come into the store tomorrow. I'll do some cleaning and maybe a little bit of renovation, stuff like that. I'm going to keep the coffee on. We're not going to cook any food or sell anything like that, but if anybody wants to come down and chat, whether you agree with me or disagree with me, coffee will be free here all day. And I have some pretty crazy staff, but I love them. So anyway, if you want to come down and visit, we'd be happy to see you, or I would be happy to see you. I don't think any of my staff will be in tomorrow. So, what else we got to talk about? I don't want to spend too much time on that whole vaccine thing because I think it's like beating a dead horse. The people that agree with everything that's going on, I'm never going to change their mind. They're going borderline crazy online with personal attacks and all sorts of ridiculous stuff on whatever lives I do or videos I upload to YouTube, and that's fine. It doesn't accomplish anything. It's a distraction, nothing more, but it still happens. And for those of you who have stopped me while I'm grocery shopping or sent messages or phone calls or sent handwritten letters, thank you very much for your support. It's really appreciated, and it's really necessary when you're getting these kind of attacks. Sometimes it gets a little bit down, but I think that might mean that we're doing something right. When you poke a hornet's nest and you start getting attacked from these small groups of people, maybe it tells that you're on the right path. So, what else is going on? We have a car show coming up on September 5th. This is going to be probably the last event type thing we do for the year. The days are getting shorter. The temperature is dropping a little bit. It's not ideal time to be outside and doing stuff like that. So if you are looking for something to do September 5th, please come down and join us. It should be a great time. According to what's going on in Messenger right now, we have people coming from BC, from Saskatchewan, from all over Alberta. So it should be an awesome weekend, and we're gonna have live music. You know, we're trying to arrange some prizes for best in show kind of thing for the cars that show up. So it should be a lot of fun. If you're concerned about coming to stuff like that and getting into talks regarding all this political crap and COVID and vaccines and that, I wouldn't worry too much about that. This isn't a political thing. We just want to get everybody together and have a good time, which we're severely lacking. I've been talking to some people that do events lately because we're trying to plan our stuff for next year, and it seems like people are still so scared and held hostage by all the BS that they've seen on the news and coming from our government. People are still scared to go out, and you know, I don't blame them. That's what happens when this stuff gets shoved down your throat every day. But I really don't think there's anything to worry about. We've had you guys have all seen how many people have been through this place. Nobody's been sick, nobody's had a hard time or anything like that. The only hard time people get here was from the police when we were open and we were supposed to be closed. But other than that, it's business as usual. Speaking of business as usual, we're trying to do some different things here at the Whistle Stop Cafe. In the background you can see the drive-in movie screen that we built last year. The days are getting short enough where we're going to start doing drive-in movies again. So if you're looking forward to that, we're looking forward to seeing you here. The drive-ins are a lot of fun. Sometimes we pack 300-400 people into the parking lot, and it's just it's an awesome way to spend some time with your friends and your family. So if you guys and gals have any requests on what movies you'd like to see, please go ahead and just send them to us in Messenger. I'm going to work on that over the next week or so, and hopefully get some stuff lined up so we can get movies going until it gets kind of too cold to do so. I think when we first started doing it, we were doing movies right up to about -10, -15, but that's getting a little chilly. So anyway, what else is there? Oh, right. I said I was going to talk a little bit about the video that got deleted from Facebook for spreading misinformation. So in that video, I'd mentioned that treatment options for COVID had been suppressed, or the College of Physicians and the government had directed doctors and nurses not to talk about any alternative treatments for COVID-19 besides the customary go into the hospital, get on a ventilator, or stay sick at home in quarantine and restrict yourself. I brought up the use of a drug that the World Health Organization did a clinical trial on. They only had something like 2,400 people in the trial. The test results were inconclusive, and nothing really came of it. The only evidence we have of any of those alternative treatments is all word of mouth stuff. It's not peer-reviewed papers. So I do want to say that for those of you who are thinking of going out and getting some sort of drug that's designed for an animal other than humans and using it without consulting your physician, probably a very bad idea. I never would recommend anybody do that. This drug in question is on the World Health Organization's list of essential drugs. It does have its proper place, proper dosage, and proper use. And as of the 30 years it's been in circulation, I don't think there's been really any adverse reactions other than maybe people crapping their pants. So please do not go out to the hardware store or a pet supply store and buy drugs and use them on yourself. That is always a bad idea. Consult your physician, even if you're planning on using something that isn't designed for humans. Your doctor, his or her job is to keep you as healthy as they can. So just like people that do anabolic steroids, they go to their doctor and they explain what they want to do, and your doctor will give you advice on how to keep yourself safe. And it's always better to be safe than sorry when doing stuff like that. So my main point about that drug in particular was that there was some evidence to suggest that it was effective as a treatment to keep people out of hospitals. It's been 2 years, and that hasn't been studied. Doctors say don't use that because it hasn't had a clinical trial, but then they push a vaccine that has also not had a clinical trial and is reported to have numerous adverse reactions. You can go and look that stuff up online. It's kind of difficult to read it, but there is a vaccine adverse reaction database that you can access, and the numbers there are pretty staggering. I would say more staggering than what's going on with people getting sick from COVID right now. But you make your own decision on that. The information's out there. Please do your own research and check it out. So I mentioned the other day that I was going to start doing YouTube lives. I can't do YouTube lives yet because we only have 650 subscribers. So if any of you are interested in seeing our content on YouTube or possibly doing lives, please go check out the page. It's Chris Scott Whistle Stop Truck Stop, or pardon me, Whistle Stop Cafe, and subscribe to the channel. Once we hit 1,000 channels, we can apply to YouTube to start doing lives. And one of the reasons I want to do that is because Facebook seems to have a lot more, or pardon me, there's a lot more opportunity for people to make false reports about stuff on Facebook, and they just take it down, and there's no way to contact them or appeal it. So by having more platforms to speak on, there's less chance of being canceled. And I think YouTube might be okay because there is a lot of people on there that are really opposed to what I'm doing, and they're very vocal. Yeah, that's pretty funny. They're very vocal about it, as you can see in the comments in a lot of the videos. Oh, good grief. So please head over there, check out the channel. I try and upload the stuff that we did in the past, including some of the interviews we've done with different news outlets who misrepresented what I was saying. That's all in there too. And we're also going to put some stuff up when it comes to car show time. We're going to get some videos of some of the cool rides and stuff here. So anyway, I got to go do some work in the store now, so thank you very much for watching. And remember, tomorrow, whether you're vaccinated, unvaccinated, whether you wear a mask or don't, please stick up for your friends and neighbors who are being discriminated against and possibly going to lose their job. What I had said before is that September 1st would be a great day for everyone who disagreed with what their employers or companies were doing in mandating vaccines. The provincial government has not mandated vaccines in the workplace. I don't think that any employer has any right or reason to do so. So if you want to support your friends and neighbors and support the choice on what they do with their own bodies and fight back against medical extortion, take a mental health day, take a I'm sick of this crap day, whatever you got to do. Make sure that you talk to your employer about it, because if it's a small place like mine, probably best to talk to them and find out if they can manage without you. We don't want to cause any small businesses any undue grief, but we do certainly want to be vocal and stand up for what we believe in. So September 1st, stand with your neighbors and your friends. Anyway, have a great evening, everybody, and we will talk again soon.